of the women that I work with, and being a woman of substance, have that desire that they want to contribute in a bigger way, whether it be in their families or in their communities, or even a wider scale. Maybe it's something global, but they have to remove the blocks that stand in their way. So I'm thinking that there would have been some blocks you'd have to remove as well. So this is the conversation that I wanted to have.
Yeah.
So, Deputy Mayor, running for Mayor of Southland.
Yes. Invercargill.
Invercargill.
Yes.
In Southland. And founding member of the Kind Woman group for contributing wider to women in the community. What is that? What is that has you put your hand up to want to make a difference in the way that you do? I mean, is it a calling? Is it it your natural way of being? Tell me.
I don't really know, if I'm honest. I think I've always just had a desire to make a difference in the world, and I don't really know where that's come from or how I got it. I just come from an ordinary family where I was pretty much the first person to go to university in my family. Most people, left school when they were like 15 and didn't even pass school C, and stuff like that. But for some reason, I just always wanted, I think, to be a leader in the community. And I've always been told that I'm bossy and that I talk too much, pretty much since I was 1 year old, apparently, according to my mother. And I think that over time, I guess I've just had to learn how to take those abilities and turn them into strengths. And I think one of the things that I found when we moved to Invercargill, we moved here as a young family. We moved here for the first year of the zero fees, so that my husband could study at the Polytech, and we moved here from Oamaru, and we had no family here. We had one son already, and we had to learn to stand on our own 2 feet. And I think that's why I encourage both my children to leave home and bugger off, because I think that that's the only way you learn to stand on your own 2 feet, and you learn a lot from being in a situation like that. And we were here, we had no one to rely on, we only each other, and we had to learn how to sort ourselves out and figure out what we wanted and how we were going to get out of debt and how we were going to survive the week on $80 worth of food, and all of those kind of things. And I think following on from that, I got some opportunities through a guy that we met to kind of do a few some administration work. It sort of started out as, and then do a few little projects. And what I learnt from that was
here's the contribution part.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did something and I was like, oh, that was successful. Oh, I can do that. And so the next time I had an opportunity to do something that was just a little bit bigger or a little bit more, and I was like, oh, well, I did that, so surely I could do that. So I did that, and I was like, oh, okay, that was easy. And then things just kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now I'm running for mayor.
And now you're running for mayor. That's right. So, you talked about that your natural way of being was to... Well, I'm going to make an assumption, right?
Yes.
You as a child, it sounds like you would ask a lot of whys. You were always chatty.
Yes,
very
talking a lot.
Talking a lot, and then you said, but I had to learn to take those attributes and turn them into strengths.
Yeah.
And how to and then coming into a new town, doing the same thing again. How do I recognise what my strengths are? How do I work with these issues? And then how do I recognise the strengths? What do I bring to actually to turn that around and make it work for me and for my family? And then you kept stretching. This is it. So little project that went well, and then bigger and bigger and bigger, and then as you say, and now you're running for mayor. So I understand all that, and I think a lot of the listeners will too, especially the women, that they know that there's something inside of them. There's a fire, but they want to know how to how to activate that fire, how to get it going. So for you, is it the satisfaction of seeing what your contribution gives that keeps you going, or is it that's just what you do?
Yeah.
Or a mix?
Well, it might be a mix. I think it's feeling like you've contributed to something greater than yourself, and you've given back to, like, for me, very much here in Invercargill, it's about giving back, because I feel like all of the opportunities that I've had to grow to become the person that I am today have happened here because of this place and the people and the opportunities that we had here. And some of those opportunities we got by accident, and some of them were quite purposeful, and sometimes, like even making the decision to come to Invercargill was kind of almost an accident, like Phil was coming here to study. I still remember that some of his family members laughed at him and said, oh, you can't study, what are you doing, doing that?
So the naysayers, that you've got to overcome the doubters.
Yes. Yeah, definitely, and things like that. So I think sometimes you just don't quite know what the consequences of a decision will be. We bought our house, a big old villa, through a rent to buy scheme because of a series of crazy events that Phil had been involved in something. He was going to be in the newspaper. It was a Tuesday. I never bought a Tuesday newspaper. Bought it because I knew his photo would be in there, going through the classifieds, and there was this ad for a rent to buy house, and I was like, oh, should we go and have a look at that? Surely we could get a rent to buy house here in Invercargill, but if it wasn't for all these kind of series of things that you accidentally did before that, you would never have got there. And we bought that house, and it's still a big old villa. We still live there. I was pregnant with Curtis at the time, so we've been there 17 years.
That's gutsy, isn't it? I mean, that's gutsy. That's like, okay, let's follow this and see where it goes. So there's definitely a curiosity about you and an innovation. That an inventiveness that you want to bring. You're not somebody that sits back. You tend to take that step. Sarah, who actually did the interview on being a woman of substance, says you've just got to step in. You've just got to take that step. And it sounds like you go, okay, well, here's an opportunity. Let's just take that step and see where it goes.
And one of the things that we learnt to do early on, we would always kind of do like a pros and cons list, and then we would always take anything to do with money out, because we decided that money was not a priority for us. Making money, losing money, having money shouldn't be the thing that makes the difference between whether we do something or not. So we do our pros and cons list, take those things out, and then look at it. And quite often it changed the dynamic of whether it was a good idea or a dumb idea to do something. And so that's something that we've always kind of done. We take the money out of the equation and see how things look.